Hey, what's up guys? My name is Sal, and this is another Expedition Log. Today's episode takes us to Reading, Pennsylvania, where we'll see the final days of a mall that now sits abandoned. It's fitting that I happened upon the festival that you're seeing here right now on my visit, as today I would like you to come take a walk with me through the Fairgrounds Square Mall. But first, a word from our sponsor. The sponsors are the furry, feathery, scaly, and wholly uncooperative pets that sought to overrun Mark Marone on his public access program in the 1990s, who my dogs Nico and Trixie helped Quite Studios to acquire. These animals loved to play with each other, and it was hilarious to watch this chaos. Enjoy.
Gold nugget, whoops. One of my favorite ones. Come on, kitty. Monkeys think they taste good, too. Kitty on the floor. Well, whoops. Work hard. Ferret on the floor now. Now, they chose to go inside. You let go of him?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you? I have a 1-year-old Beagle mixed pup.
Senegal parrots do not make good toys. Hey, they don't eat my bird. If you have a fax you want to send me, go ahead and send it. The first one's from Corey. Hey, puppy. Puppy's going to answer the fax. What to say? I have questions to ask you. Does it matter? Excuse me, bird. A monkey is an animal that is never alone. Let's go with the puppy. Now, the vet with is gone now. Cat still remembers how scared he was. That's right. I know where he is. Thank you very much. Suck all the juices out with those two fangs. Kitty on the floor again. Come here, kitty. Excuse me. No. Oh, we got a bird on the floor. Hi.
I have a
We'll suck all on you like that, or they'll suck on a piece of wool. Puppy on the floor. Hey, let go of the. Speaking of cats, where's our cat? I was not eating a bird someplace. They don't have a bill that's strong enough to crack the sunflower seeds. Kitty, let me just get the cat out of the iguana cage here, and give him a command, like hurry up. No, not you. And Brian is one of my. Whoops! There goes Brian. He's really well trained.
Well, it will fall out on its own eventually.
Hello.
What were we supposed to have?
Let me get this cat out of here before he eats a $60 lizard.
That doesn't look good on TV.
Back in August of 1965, a brand new Boscov's opened right here on the site of the former Reading Fairgrounds. The official Reading Fair began in October of 1854 and ceased operating at this location that we're at now in 1994. And the Reading Fair is now held in Leesport, Pennsylvania, which is about 20 minutes north of Reading. We'll actually take a tour of this very Boscov's later in the video. And I'll also take the opportunity to get some dinner and show you guys the famous Boscov's burger. So stick around for that. In the late 1970s, Interstate Properties announced that they'd be building a brand new mall in Reading, Pennsylvania to accompany the Boscov's, which was already on the Reading Fairgrounds site. Construction was held up for months due to community objection and dozens of zoning appeals. However, in October of 1979, ground was finally broken on the property and construction began. And it would only take them 1 year to build the mall. The grand opening and dedication was held on October 6, 1980, for the Fairgrounds Square Mall. Fairgrounds Square opened to the public with senior anchors J.C. Penney and the existing Boscov's, which the mall was built around, along with 75 inline tenants. Over the last few years, in all of my expeditions, I've seen malls torn down and completely demolished over the span of 2 years, possibly more. It absolutely blows my mind that a mall can be completed and open to the public in the span of just 1 year, while we're seeing so many malls demolished across the globe, taking longer to do so. It's staggering. There has to be something else to it, and if you guys know of some reason that developers would drag out the demolition of a mall, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to have that conversation with you. Or we could bring it to the Discord. You can find a link in the description below. See how many times in this video that you can spot this intense mall walker taking laps around the mall. Let me know in the comments. In the short span of just 1 year that it took to build this mall, so much else was happening in the world. On January 6th, the GPS time epoch began. The clock started at 0, and it was set to deliver global positioning technology to the entire world. The 13th Winter Olympics would take place in Lake Placid, New York in February. In May, Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington, killing 57 people and causing over $3 billion worth of damage. 3 days after the volcanic eruption, The Empire Strikes Back would open in theaters, and 1 day after that, Pac-Man was released. John Lennon would be murdered in New York City just 2 months after the mall opened, and by January 20th of 1981, Hollywood actor turned union leader turned governor of California, Ronald Reagan, would be inaugurated as the 40th president of the United States of America, with George H.W. Bush at his side as vice president. All of that stuff happened in about the time that this mall was built. How crazy is that? I always love finding vintage gems inside of a mall that has mostly the aesthetic value of a 90s mall. But look at this Taco Casa place. How cool is this? It looks so retro, so vintage, and I'm pretty sure that menu is original. It has to be from like the late 80s or something. If any of you have pictures of this place, come over to the Discord and share them. We're always having conversations over there. And again, the link for the Discord is in the description below. And you'll also find a link to my second channel, where I hope to start live streaming once we hit 1,000 subs. After just over 1 year of operation, on September 30th, 1981, First Union Real Estate Trust purchased the Fairgrounds Square Mall from Interstate Properties for $29,720,000, while the mall was at a 97% occupancy rate. They were able to ride out the 80s with the mall intact and doing very well. By 1988, the mall was doing so well they decided to add on to it, and they added 530,000 square feet, which would add 12 new stores and a junior anchor, Far More, which was a discount pharmacy chain. Things were looking very good. The most striking thing about this mall are the wide open areas and abundance of natural light, and it reminds me a lot of malls like the Burlington Center in New Jersey, which I just did a video on. You should check out Xlog40. It also reminds me of the Columbia Mall in Columbia, Maryland, which both of those are Jim Rouse malls, and I think they took some cues from him for this mall because it's gorgeous. There's so much natural light, and you can tell that the trees in this mall were thriving because of how tall they got. The mall continued to enjoy success moving into the 1990s, and a third senior anchor would be added to the mix in 1996 when a 107,000 square foot Montgomery Ward was added. However, just 3 years later in 1999, the wards would close, and JCPenney would downgrade its anchor into a catalog outlet store. Losing an original senior anchor is always a sign of trouble for the community that the mall is in danger. And it's distressing news to the mall owners as well. First Union saw the signs of trouble early, and they placed the mall for sale in July of 1999. On August 4th, 1999, GP Properties Inc., who are an affiliate of Yeager Management, they purchased the mall for $24.8 million. Jason's Furniture Outlet opened in the former Montgomery Ward space in December of 2000. Around this time, concerns over Y2K were in the past, but the dot-com bubble would soon burst, leaving many startup websites broken and many programmers without work. It was also at this time that malls were seeing a resurgence in foot traffic, when consumers hadn't fully accepted the internet as a powerful platform of retail exposure. At this time, George Bush defeated Al Gore in the 2000 presidential election. The PlayStation 2 console debuted, and in cinemas we had X-Men, Mission Impossible 2, Castaway, Meet the Parents, and Erin Brockovich, among others. After the turn of the millennium, movies were getting way bigger budgets and much, much larger audiences. By 2002, Cinema Center at the Fairgrounds Square Mall would add 5 screens along with stadium seating to the movie theater to adjust to the growing needs and wants of moviegoers. It was also at this time that junior anchor Farmore would cease operations at the Fairgrounds Square Mall. There's no better mall walking food than a fresh, hot, soft pretzel with some yellow mustard sprinkled on it, and to drink, lemonade, unsweetened iced tea. Half and half. Change my mind in the comment section below. Hey, what's up, dude? What is this, lap 43? He's like the Flash. So quick. So unstoppable. He's a machine. Never try to stop a mall walker, ever. By October of 2003, the mall's occupancy was holding strong at 95% and things were looking really good. The Jason's Furniture Outlet moved to the former Farmore space, and National Wholesale Liquidators would take over the former Jason's Furniture space. While the anchor situation wasn't ideal, with a mix of discount chains and Boscovs, the spaces were filled and foot traffic was still on the rise. This back room, it was just open. The door was kind of swinging, so I decided to take a peek in. And here we have another example of decorations that are just going to sit unused. Christmas decorations, holiday decorations for special events and stuff. Just like what happened at the Schuylkill Mall, with those decorations being used at the South Mall. I certainly hope that they'll find a way to use these decorations in the future. Because look at that chair right there. Do you know how many Santa Clauses sat in that chair with kids that got their picture taken over the years? There's so many families across the state and possibly outside of Pennsylvania that have pictures in a frame of their kids sitting on Santa's lap. And now the place is just abandoned. To me, the best part right now about this mall is definitely the Boscov's. It's super vintage, it has a ton of neon, and it's also got something called The Greenery, which is their restaurant. So let's actually take a quick break from inside the mall, and I want you to come take a walk with me through the Boscov's. And we're gonna get some dinner so you guys can see the Boscov's burger.
Three reasons why Francesco Rinaldi is selling so. It's the taste, it's the Francesco Rinaldi taste. That's only one reason. No, it's three.
He's right. And remember, we stand behind every Francesco Rinaldi.
Boscov 97 is here. Come in 3 times this week for a $30 12-quart stainless steel stock pot for $6.99. Did you Timex today? Boscov's has new styles of Timex watches, only $9.99. 50% off photo frames, including Burns of Boston. Save 25 to 50% on our entire stock of men's knit and woven sport shirts at all Boscov's.
There's nothing quite like finding a vintage Boscov's in the wild. The one that we're in right now was built in 1965 and was the original parcel on the site of the Reading Fairgrounds. And at the time, it was the Boscov's. There was a farmer's market, and the fair would happen once a year. And ultimately, they wound up building the entire mall around this structure. But this place is cavernous. When you come downstairs, it's like there's a little mall down here. You've got the salon, you've got this side auditorium place that I don't think used to be what it is now. Right now, it sells discount goods. Let's take a walk inside. It's pretty weird. Bargain Central is what they call it. I love those pillow things with the sequins that change colors. There was also a police substation down there. But let's take a look at the rest of it and some of the amazing neon around this place, and then we'll make our way towards the Greenery to get some dinner. Did you Boscov today? Maybe not, but you're doing it right now with me in this Boscov's. Looking at this amazing neon all over the place. Look at this neon. Can you feel the glow? And the mirrored ceilings. This place is epic. It's so cool. I love this place. For your consideration and approval, I present to my legion of explorers the Greenery at the Fairgrounds Square Mall, Boscov's. Within this delicious chamber resides the most amazing, crispy, juicy, savory burger. It's probably not the best burger I've ever had, but it's up there. And just look at this place. As you look around, you can just see 1965. It feels like a diner that existed in Mayberry that Andy Griffith would eat at.
I was looking for a menu. Thank you, sir.
This quaint little restaurant inside the Boscov's had such a nice and warm and welcoming atmosphere. And when I was there, I actually wanted to live stream the dinner and just have a chat with you guys while I ate. but as I was there, it just felt like I was intruding, and I didn't want to live stream and kind of ruin that atmosphere, so I didn't do it. Speaking of live streaming, I want to start live streaming on my second channel. If you search for Quite Studios, that's my second channel, and that's where I hope to do some live streaming. But before I can, I have to get to 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully you guys can all go over there and sub, and I've been putting more content up. I post raw cuts of places I've been, stuff that's going on, and the Quite Studios channel will give you more background into me and my process. So please go over there and sub so we can get to 1,000 subs and I can start live streaming over there so we don't have to do it on this channel. Here it is, the Boskov burger.
Can I get you anything else? Are you okay?
I'm all good.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Listen to how crunchy this thing sounds. It's incredible. Oh my God, it was so good. All of you need to have this burger.
It's really good. Eating inside of a Boscov's right now. I never thought this point would come in my life. I couldn't be happier. Let's finish this, and we'll go see the rest of the mall.
There's something for everyone at Fairground Square Mall. Shop at Boscov's, JCPenney Outlet, Burlington Coat Factory, and Super Shoes. Eat at delicious restaurants like Eastern Buffet and Grill or Chef Allen's American Bistro. Enjoy entertainment at the Cinema Center or free events year-round. Or get in shape at Planet Fitness. Over 85 fantastic options. Value, convenience, and comfortable, safe shopping for the family. Visit customer service to learn about the Shopper's Prize Club or to buy a mall gift card. Fairground Square Mall. Your savings.
Over the course of 2004, National Wholesale Liquidators, among other tenants, would leave the mall. And then in August of 2005, Burlington Coat Factory would take over the space left vacant by National Wholesale Liquidators. Through the mid-aughts and into the late 2000s, the mall would see no growth, and this is when it started to really die. Occupancy was steadily dropping, and the owners were having immense trouble paying the bills to keep the place open. In January of 2011, JCPenney closed their outlet store and they rebranded it to JC's 5-Star Outlet. I don't know if that was any different than the outlet store, but if JC's 5-Star Outlet was much different, let me know in the comments, because I don't think it was. By January of 2013, the mall went into foreclosure when GP Fairgrounds Square LP owed more than $44 million to their lenders. The mall was set to be auctioned off at a Marshall sale, and only one bidder showed up. The sole bidder was the Bank of New York Mellon Trust Co., and they bought the Fairgrounds Square Mall for $13.6 million. I'm never let down when I go to a dead mall, and I will always see a shady massage parlor. Over the course of 2013, more stores would leave, including the JCPenney, who closed their 5-star outlet in November of that year. But they had these toy machines with snorting pigs going for them, so there's that. The rate in which the mall was losing tenants was steadily on the rise, and the mall's interior was becoming more sparse every day. Muhlenberg Township manager Jamal Abodallo stated that the mall's property was reassessed in January of 2016, and the value dropped from $10.5 million down to about $4.5 million. The Bank of New York Mellon Trust decided to sell the mall at a huge loss to both them and their lenders in April of 2016. They sold the mall to the Hull Property Group, Inc. of Georgia. Hull purchased this mall for just $1.16 million. They knew what they were doing, and they had a plan. Hull did nothing to bring new business to this mall. Frankly, the fact that they purchased this property is a bit of an anomaly. If you look at their portfolio, most of the properties they own are down in the Carolinas, Georgia, and Alabama. And when I think of the typical Southern Hull mall, I imagine a once beautiful vintage property bastardized into a dimly lit carpeted hallway with little to distinguish it from a doctor's office. Up in the Northeast, aside from Fairgrounds, they own one more property, which is the ailing Hudson Valley Mall in Kingston, New York. To wit, and to be fair, Hull has shown that they can revive a dead mall to an extent, but in their process, they create such a bland experience that provides no aesthetic charm. Fairgrounds was not a mall they acquired to turn around and revive, in my opinion. I believe Hull purchased Fairgrounds because it was cheap and they knew it would fail, and they could make money on the redevelopment through tax incentives. In 2018, Hull announced plans to redevelop the mall into a mixed-use town center. The plan was vague, and they didn't give many details, nor did they have anyone in place that was actually going to come in to lease space. Their plan consisted of demolishing 62 to 80% of the existing structure, and they would keep the Boscov's, Burlington Coat Factory, and the cinema, but everything else would be razed down to the foundation. As redevelopment negotiations crawled along, Hull terminated the leases of remaining inline tenants and closed the interior of the Fairgrounds Square Mall in April of 2018. I don't mean to get cerebral or to go too far into the minutia of tax details, but for the incredibly vague redevelopment plans announced by Hull throughout the rest of 2018 and into early 2019, the township offered them a LERTA, or a Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance Plan. With this plan, Hull would get a tax break on redevelopment costs, but have to front the money for the demolition and redevelopment. This isn't what Hull wanted. What they wanted was a TIF, or a tax increment financing plan, which would allow an urban renewal district to subsidize redevelopment of blighted properties by reallocating property taxes, encouraging investment within the district. It was a sweet deal, but the township gave them a hard no and told them to fund their own demolition. Vice President to the Berks County Board of Commissioners, Kevin Lurch, stated, quote, "We're basically being held hostage in order for Hull to find the funding to knock down the mall. It's been nothing but hollow promises. We're not going to allow them to use taxpayer money to rehab that piece of property," close quote. Then, Michael Malinowski, who is the president of the Board of Commissioners, stated, quote, "The Hull Group just hasn't lived up to what we believe are their obligations to be a good business partner for our township. It's time to put up or shut up, close quote. And with that, Hull fell silent and wasn't heard from for months. After the township denied their TIF, and after a long period of silence, Hull formally withdrew their redevelopment plans, and then they sat there like a petulant child, refusing to eat their vegetables at dinner. They said, okay, we'll just let them all be. We'll maintain it, but we won't redevelop it, because you're not paying for the redevelopment. The township never gave in, and Hull finally announced plans to demolish 80% of the mall. They made these plans on June 13th, 2019. Take note, though, that their new plan is simply to demolish the site, to keep the Boscovs, the Burlington, and the cinema, but to demolish the rest of the mall and to make it pad ready for new businesses to come in and build their own structures. They won't do anything but flatten the property and let it sit until somebody comes in and builds something there. They plan to commence this demolition in spring of 2020, but until then, I implore you to come here to visit the Boscovs and to have an amazing Boscovs burger and to take in the amazing aesthetic value of this Boscovs. I'd like to thank the entire legion of explorers of Quite Studios for watching this video, especially the patrons who directly help me to pay for the expeditions. Be sure to follow my expeditions live on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and also make sure you're following my second secret channel, Quite Studios, where I put raw content and where I'll do my live streams once we hit 1,000 subs. A link for my second channel is in the description below, but you can also search for Quite Studios and you'll see my face, the same picture that I have for this channel. Also a special shout out to Anthony of Ace's Adventures, who dug out his detective's hat and helped me to find the exact day that this mall was opened. So thanks, Ace. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Take care and have a fantastic day.